Russia-Ukraine war continues. Zelensky says he won't stop after Musk claims Putin will gain more ground. Volodymyr Zelensky has vowed to now not surrender on defending his U.S. In a poignant Easter message, the Ukrainian president stated Easter is a holiday that reminds us of the electricity of the spirit as a way to not allow darkness to succeed. It's going to now not permit the will to be overshadowed. He introduced, we protect ourselves, we bear, our spirit does not surrender and is aware of that it's miles viable to prevent dying. Existence can prevail. Meanwhile, Elon Musk claimed Russia will benefit greater land in Ukraine in an outlandish submit on social media. Writing on X, Mr. Musk stated, "It turned into a sad waste of lifestyles for Ukraine to attack a bigger military that had protection-intensive minefields and stronger artillery whilst Ukraine lacked armor or air superiority. Any fool ought to have anticipated that." He added, "There is no threat of Russia taking all of Ukraine because the local resistance could be intense within the West, but Russia will certainly advantage extra land than they've these days. Russia should activate Putin because the kingdom's economic power wanes and sanctions maintain tightening, economists say. Russia's monetary resilience inside the face of sanctions could be challenged this year, economists say, and they expect that Vladimir Putin could lose the guide of the people if the West ramps up sanctions and makes existence within the USA more difficult. Russia has so far weathered the effect of Western sanctions. However, the state ought to see a turning factor at the November U.S. presidential election, according to Jeffrey Sonnenfeld and Stephen Tien, two Yale researchers who think the West is probable to preserve providing guide for Ukraine whilst tightening sanctions on Russia, if President Joe Biden gets re-elected. Greater monetary pressure could make Russians more proof against Putin's leadership, they stated, after an extended length of complacency because the president drags the state into its third year of warfare. Humans are living normal lives for now, however it is a totally unsustainable strategy, and the fundamental boom drivers underpinning that economic system are deteriorating in front of our eyes, Tien advised Commercial Enterprise Insider. And if Trump's no longer elected, then all of a good way to upward thrust to the floor. The house of playing cards will come crashing down. A new way for the insurance zone to prioritize humanitarian reasons. Sergei Guriev, a Russian economist and the incoming dean of the London Business School, also thinks social unrest could be coming for Moscow. Russia's economic system is mirroring its late Soviet Union days, he said. Proper earlier than extreme monetary guide from the government dropped off and dispatched a few sectors, like production, spiraling into deep recession territory. Putin's financial myth. The tailspin Sonnenfeld, Tien, and Guriev are predicting seems contradictory to what Russia is supplying at the floor. The country's financial system grew 3.6% in 2023, in step with facts from Russia's Federal Statistics Service. In the meantime, a file 56% of Russians accept as true with the financial system is improving, consistent with a 2023 poll. But polls and economic stats popping out of Russia are past deceptive, Sonnenfeld argued. Formerly, he has made the case that Russia's increase figures are figments of Putin's imagination, with the Kremlin cherry-choosing favorable stats even as retaining the more dire statistics factors out of the general public eye. Putin has claimed that Russia is on its manner to turning into the new growth hub of the sector. That too might be a lie, Guriev advised. Putin does not believe that Russia is doing very well. Putin is familiar with the deficiencies of the data, however he desires to persuade Russians that the whole thing is nice, he brought. That is his process as a dictator to distribute this. Different economic signs show a decidedly bleaker photo of Russia's monetary scenario. The kingdom saw the flight of 1 million citizens from the US of A, 15% of its millionaires, and $19 billion in overseas direct investment in 2022 on my own. And even as robust army spending has propped up Moscow's economic system, it truly is not likely to final for an awful lot longer, with European researchers predicting a greater slow increase trajectory for Russia into 2024. Those stats display that the U.S.'s financial system is being cannibalized via the Ukraine warfare, Sonnenfeld previously stated, irrespective of how tons Putin touts the U.S.'s resilience in opposition to sanctions. Biden's re-election and tighter sanctions might be the event that awakens Russian citizens to that reality, Sonnenfeld and Tien said. The West may want to supply a potentially crippling blow to Russia's economy if it were to appearance past the oil exchange, and sanction Russian steel, copper, and different metallic commodities, which account for around 20% of the state's overall revenue, they envisioned. Dwelling requirements in Russia, in the meantime, are already at the decline. Civilian infrastructure is breaking down, in part due to the fact Russia is spending an excessive amount on its war. Russian inflation is also excessive, clocking in at 7.58%. In step with statistics from Russia's economic ministry. There could be large unrest whilst humans in Russia understand that Putin's promised path to victory is not going to materialize the way he is promising, while humans recognize that during phases of Ukraine there may be no pathway to victory. Guriev would not trust Russia's economic system will absolutely unravel, as critical bankers will paintings hard to limit the harm. But inflation and constricted boom will be massive problems for Moscow, ensuing in a painful economic restructuring.